Okay, we're going to get back into Orchot Tzadikim, the ways of the Tzadikim. This is a great book. It's a Jewish Musar classic. It's authored anonymously, but it pulls out a lot of sources and gives you a lot to think about in a real short, condensed way. So so this is the sixth gate, the gate of hatred, Sha'ar Hasina. So the trait of hatred is prohibited by a negative commandment in Vayikra. It's Leviticus 19:17. It says, "Do not hate your brother in your heart." We have hereby been exhorted to remove from ourselves the trait of hatred. This trait leads to many transgressions, such as slander. One who hates his neighbor always speaks poorly of him, accepting slander against him, always desiring ill for him, rejoicing in his misfortune, causing him injury whenever possible, avenging himself upon him, and bearing grudges against him, and not pitying him even in the most straitened circumstances. One's hatred will further cause him to disparage his fellow man's good deeds and make them hateful in his eyes and the eyes of others, to withhold good from his fellow man and not admit the truth to him, and to be overbearing with him in exacting payment of a debt. So these are all like completely basically everything that he listed there is a transgression. So, you're not supposed to hate your brother in your heart, bear a grudge. You're not supposed to take revenge, and just on and on and on. It's a trait it's almost like a trait that of something that your enemy tries to incite within you, but it's something you have to guard yourself against. So again, he labels each of these chapters as a gate, just like you would have different entranceways into a city, or different entranceways, things penetrating into your life. So this is something that you have to really watch out against in particular. So there are different types of hatred. One may hate his neighbor for causing him a monetary loss, striking him, shaming him, or giving him a bad name and the like. For all these and the like, one must not hate his friend in silence, as stated in respect to the wicked in second Shmuel Beit. So 2 Samuel 13:22, it says, and Avshalom did not speak with Amnon, either good or evil, for Avshalom hated Amnon. But it is a mitzvah to inform him and to say to him, "Why did you do this and this and that to me?" As it is written in Vayikra 19:17, it says, "You shall surely reprove your brother, and if he asks for forgiveness, he must be forgiven, and the one who forgives must not be hard-hearted," as it is written in Bereshit, that's Genesis 20, verse 17. And Abraham prayed to God on behalf of Abimelech in Bava Kama 92a. And even if the offender does not ask to be forgiven, it should not be hated but handled with love, so that in the end the injury will be righted. An extremely bad form of hatred is vain hatred, the type that destroyed the Second Temple, Yoma 9b. And even worse than this is hatred out of envy. It is fitting that one afflict himself so that he can remove himself from these. There is one who hates his friend because the latter does not render him a loving kindness or give him a gift as he would desire, or extend him a loan in his time of need. So also, there's these other ideas of so if you envy somebody else, you think that you should have or you deserve what they have, and in reality, that's trying to clothe yourself in robes that are not yours, and ultimately, it speaks elsewhere, that's essentially taking the place of the King of Kings, right? So here we go. Let's see. One should remove himself from all this and from anything like it, and one should receive with love all that the Creator, blessed be He, decrees upon him, and not trust in any man. He should think, if I were worthy of it, the Blessed One would give what I required to me without having recourse to the gifts or loans of flesh and blood. And if one remains steeped in poverty and distress, or in afflictions of illness, let him think that the Creator decreed all this for his good, and let him accept it with love. I just was listening to Rabbi tonight. To tell you the truth, I can't remember his name because it wasn't someone that I normally listen to. He was talking about the idea that if you see something happen in your life where you're deficient in something goes down, like the scales go, the scales of life change against you in some area of your life. Ultimately the Creator is giving you a blessing somewhere else in your life. You're provided with an opportunity somewhere else in your life. So things balance out, but sometimes our perspective is still that single direction that we look for, and we concentrate on the deficiency that we have rather than on the other. Sometimes we got to look in the other direction and see what has now opened up for us. And it could be a lot of different things. It could be family, it could be education, it could be wisdom, free time. People lose their job and they don't realize, wow, I have all this free time where I can study, I can concentrate on my family, I can start working on stuff, I can fix the house, I can, spend my time on doing something else, improve some skills, help somebody out, use my time to help other people, volunteer, that kind of stuff. So there is no doubt that if he does this, all hatred will depart from his heart. This is a great foundation and a strong pillar of Torah and mitzvot, to accept everything with love and to say about all that befalls one, this too is for the good. So Nachumish Gamzu, this too is for the good, right? And one who accustoms himself to this and concentrates upon this in his heart and rejoices in the judgments of the Creator, blessed is he, and his decrees, such a one is very close to attaining love of the Blessed One, and he will be rescued from hatred, enmity, and envy. This is the way of the world, for one tradesman to hate his competitor. Midrash Tanhuma Tazria, 9. This is all vain and extremely evil, for one must keep in mind that no one can earn more than what the Creator has decreed for him. But the worst of the different types of hatred, and the most severe, is the hatred of men for those who reprove and chastise them to teach them the right path, as it is written in Amos 5:10. They have hated the reprover in the gate. They have hated the reprover in the gate. And there is a hatred even more evil than this, such that of men who hate doers of good and pursuers of righteousness, as it is written in Tehillim, that's Psalms 38, verse 21. They hate me because I pursue good. Those who walk in this path hate Hashem because they hate those who love him. They hate the Torah and the mitzvot because they are disgusted by, despise, and hate those who fulfill them. Wow, that sounds really familiar right now, if you know what I mean. The sages has said, if you want your friend to hate you, visit him always, and if you want him to love you, visit him infrequently. Concerning this, it is written in Mishlei, that's Proverbs 25, verse 17, make your foot dear or rare in your neighbor's house, lest he grow sated with you and hate you. You must know that he who hates others will be hated by them, and he who stirs up hatred in his heart brings evil upon himself. And love that is not for the sake of heaven turns into great hatred and jealousy, as it is written in respect to Amnon in 2 Samuel, Shmuel Beit 13, verse 15. It says, and Amnon hated her with very great hatred, for the hatred with which he hated her was greater than the love with which he had loved her. Do not trust to the counsel of the hater or the enemy, as it is written in Mishlei, Proverbs 27, verse 6. Profuse are the kisses of the hater. Know that many show love in their words, though they be confirmed haters in their hearts, and it is necessary not to believe them, as it is written in Proverbs 26:24. With his lips the hater dissembles, and in his midst he stores up deceit. Though he smooth over his tongue to you, and speak gently to you, do not incline your heart to him, as it is written in verse 25. It says, when he makes his voice ingratiating, do not believe him, for there are 7 abominations in his heart. Just as Yoav showed Avner ben Ner in Shmuel Beit 2 Samuel 3:27, it says, and Amasa ben Yeser, so chapter 20, verse 9 and 10, peace and love until he killed him, and as Yishmael ben Netaniah with Gedaliah ben Ahikam until he killed him. Yirmiyahu 41, that's Jeremiah 41, verses 1 and 2. One of the sages said, the best plot you can make against your foe is converting him to your love, if you are able. There is hatred that is a mitzvah, such as that directed toward a wicked man who does not accept chastisement. It is a mitzvah to hate him, as it is written in Mishlei, that's Proverbs 8:13. It is fear of Hashem to hate evil. It is fear of Hashem to hate evil. Tehillim 139, so Psalms 139, 21 and 22, it says, do I not hate those who hate you, O Hashem, and strive against those who rise up against you? I have hated them to the ends of hatred. They have become my foes. And one must hate falsehood and deceit. In some, one must hate anything which distances him and deters him from love of the Creator of all. As it is written in Psalm 119, 128, it says, I have hated every false path. This is a great principle. One must hate every manner of falsehood. The more he hates the ways of falsehood, the more he will love Torah, as it is written in verse 163. I have hated and despised falsehood. I have loved your Torah. And one must love truth in peace, as it is written in Zechariah 8:19. Love truth in peace. So anything in this book, it's very good to go through it and evaluate your life and see, with that specific trait, if there's anything that you can refine in your own life when this everything it is when you go and sit down to learn, before you rise up, see what you can put into action, or in some cases, if to stop certain actions in your life. And most things begin in the mind rather than a habitual action. The mind does have control, and there's many things that we have to change our perspective on. So, and hatred leads to anger. It's a gateway, just like this is called the gate of hatred. It's a gateway to many other things. Just like there's positive mitzvot that are gateways to many other things, because it's Ben Azai says in Perkei Avot, one mitzvah leads to another mitzvah, one sin leads to another sin. So again, everything is a gateway. That's why this book is called Orchot Tzadikim. It's the ways of the righteous, and every chapter is called a gate, a sha'ar. So thanks for listening.